Hi, Annabella here, ready to talk about many things Frankenstein. It's been a busy several months for the Frankenstein genre. One of the great things about being a member of an art house cinema like the Coolidge Corner Theatre is their ability to show older films and to show you the influences on a new film. They started this fall with the 1973 movie The Spirit of the Beehive, a film from Spain that is set in Franco's era Spain, in which the children go to the village cinema and see the original Boris Karloff Frankenstein, which wasn't very old at that time. And Guillermo del Toro has talked about that movie having influenced his work, and that was very clearly seen when they showed his 2001 movie, The Devil's Backbone, which is set in an orphanage, also in Franco era Spain, actually right at the end of the Spanish Civil War. And it's a Gothic setting, a crumbling facility, this old orphanage. There is a ghost boy reanimated, brought back to life, however you want to look at it. All of the themes that are there in Frankenstein, father son or creator son issues, very clearly you can see the influence of the original Spirit of the Beehive and then leading up to The Devil's Backbone. They did not show Pan's Labyrinth, but that is another Del Toro movie that is set during Franco era Spain and has many Gothic elements. So you can see very clearly all of these influences if you watch on Netflix a documentary with Del Toro called Sangre del Toro, or you watch any interview with him about the creation of his movie Frankenstein, and you will know about these influences. I have always loved Frankenstein. I know people think of it as a monster movie, a monster theme, but it's really a classic of the Gothic genre. And here is my high school edition, many decades old now, of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. I wrote my AP English paper on Castle of Otranto by Horace Walpole, another Gothic classic, and Frankenstein. And the themes of Frankenstein of man versus man, man versus himself, man versus nature. Jacob Elordi captured that very well in his portrayal of the monster in Frankenstein in Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. Man versus man, all the people who don't love him, who hate him because he's ugly or different. His struggle with his creator, his struggle from within, his struggle with nature. Were we meant to live forever? Were we meant to be reanimated or reborn? That theme comes across in the newest installment in the Frankenstein genre, Maggie Gyllenhaal's The Bride, which I saw at the Coolidge last night. Not sure what to make of it. It is Jessie Buckley playing the bride of Frankenstein and Christian Bale as the monster, or Frankenstein, Frank as he's known in the film. It's loud and wild. It is set in the 1930s, an homage to the James Whale Frankenstein films, which were filmed in the 1930s, with beautiful Art Deco sets and cinematography and a mix a bit of the soundtrack. You see them going to see classic films. A lot of Easter eggs in that film. You can see a pan in the audience at some point where you see a Liza Minnelli looking actress, and that's an homage to Cabaret, which was set in the 1930s. You see influences for sure of the Joker and of Batman, and there are many people, Christian Bale and some of the cinematographers and other folks that have worked on those other different films. And you see Jessie Buckley, who, if you saw my Who I Would Pick for the Oscars video, you know I didn't love in Hamnet. One reviewer of The Bride said that she was displaying her now trademark dislocated jaw of a primal scream that is persistently featured in Hamnet. That was talking about her screams and her actions in The Bride, but that's a film that lends itself a bit more to being over the top. I didn't love her in Hamnet, but she was probably the best person for the bride, whether you like it or not. Also, very clear homage to Bonnie and Clyde, which is also a 1930s set movie. Very interesting to see the bride on the big screen. I think it works much better on a big screen than it would on a small screen at home. There is a dance number that is very reminiscent of Michael Jackson's Thriller, which, of course, very gothic and featured Vincent Price. So, bringing a lot of things together in this newest movie, The Bride. And The Bride of Frankenstein, the original James Whale film, will be shown in a few weeks at the Coolidge, kind of completing this circle of many things Frankenstein. So I hope you, if you enjoy gothic things, that you enjoy this. It's also Wuthering Heights, which is gothic romance, and that is a terrible movie that is on the big screen at the moment. And all of these things you can enjoy. Bye for now.